Hello everyone! Today we have another video about the subtle plane. What prompted me to record this was one of the comments I received. Actually, I often see such comments saying that people try to see the subtle plane but so far they can't. They say, I'm doing what's recommended but I still can't access the subtle plane and so forth. Additionally, I got a question on Boosty, a platform where I upload recordings of my live streams with some girls, where we practice going into the subtle realms, exploring what we see and so forth, asking when we form a question, a request about what we want to see on the subtle plane. Who are we asking? Basically, it revealed that people might not understand how viewing the subtle plane actually works. I think this video will be helpful to many of you, especially those who want to see but don't understand how to look or what to look at. For some, it becomes as easy as breathing, but others close their eyes and don't know what to do next. They get stuck, not understanding how the process itself works mechanically. I do have one video on YouTube dedicated to how I personally see the subtle plane. It was a more personal story explaining my own experience. This video, however, will be purely technical. Just dry facts without personal coloring, basically a lesson. Let's start by clarifying what the subtle plane is, because many people have no idea. For them, it might be something vague like the Akashic records or something else abstract and incomprehensible. So let's define what we, myself and others who have learned to see the subtle plane, mean by seeing the subtle plane. We're not talking about some nonsense from dubious teachings. We mean actually seeing it, practicing it. What is it to see the subtle plane? It means moving between your subtle bodies. It's not just a random event happening spontaneously. It's about the ability to consciously manage your subtle bodies. It's about restoring your matryoshka layers, as I've explained before, and about controlling your subtle form. In other words, going into the subtle plane means you can purposefully interact with your subtle bodies. Another aspect, accessing the subtle plane also means taking control of that radio in your head. If you recall from my videos on disconnecting from attachments, I said that we have something like a radio in our head receiving certain waves or energies. These can be manipulations, implanted thoughts, or other influences we mistake for our own thoughts. To see the subtle plane means you can control and tune this radio, not just be influenced by it. It's not a radio in the literal sense, but a metaphor for your ability to perceive subtle energies and separate them from your own. Essentially, it's a decoder that allows you to pick up and interpret the energetic information all around you. I've said many times that we think in mental images as thought forms, not words. We think in energy. Everything in the universe is energy, and all around us there's a massive energetic field containing all information. Not in some mysterious Akashic library, but as energy waves. Everything, your emotions, the environment, the universe, is recorded as energy patterns. The subtle plane involves accessing these energies and translating them into understandable forms. To navigate this infusion of information and find what you specifically need, you must know how to focus and direct your intention. Think of it like using a GPS in this vast energetic ocean. Seeing the subtle plane doesn't mean hearing voices giving you a historical lecture. It's more about instantly receiving a packet of energetic impressions that you then decode and understand empathically. This experience is primarily empathic perception. To see the subtle plane, you must develop empathy toward energy. Empathic perception is key because it's how you feel and interpret energy flows. This doesn't mean you have to force yourself. Empathic ability is natural to everyone, but often blocked. If you say, I try and try, but I can't see, let's consider why. Let's list possible reasons why you might struggle, and these are also factors that, once resolved, support your ability to access the subtle plane. The first and most crucial factor is disconnecting from attachments. I've said it's about 70% of success. From my own experience and from what others tell me, once people start really working on disconnecting these energetic attachments, at some point they achieve breakthroughs. Some do it in 3 days, others in a month. some in 6 months or even a year. It depends on the individual's efforts, their soul's plan, and their unique situation. Not everyone's soul wants or needs to see the subtle plane at this stage. Sometimes you think you want it, but it's not necessary for your current mission. Another reason might be that you're not aware of certain issues or blocks you still carry. Let's say you're disconnecting attachments but not seeing results. It could be that you missed some critical details in your approach. Many people re-watch my earliest videos on disconnecting attachments and each time discover something new they previously overlooked. And don't underestimate the importance of every piece of information I've given. For instance, early on I mentioned a simple technique with a rubber band to snap yourself out of negative thought loops. Many people forget this, or they never watched my video on personal boundaries, which is crucial. Personal boundaries are essential for establishing your personal space and maintaining a stable energy field. Without strong personal boundaries, you're vulnerable, which makes seeing the subtle plane more difficult. Every video and piece of practical knowledge I've shared forms a larger puzzle, helping you live normally by disconnecting from the system. So, first is disconnecting attachments. About 70% of your success depends on it. The second big factor is working through mental blocks. Let's discuss that in detail. Mental blocks are when you tell yourself, I can't do it, I'm not capable, maybe others are special, and I'm not odd. Such thoughts create powerful internal obstacles. Another common block is fear. Many people saw something scary in childhood, a strange entity or something else, and it frightened them so much that they swore never to see such things again. This traumatic moment can trigger a subconscious agreement that blocks your subtle vision. Even if consciously you now want to see, your subconscious fear prevents it. You must identify these hidden fears and dissolve them. Another type of block is the fear of disappointment. For example, maybe you think you're a super high level soul and you fear that if you see the subtle plane you'll discover you're not that extraordinary. Or the opposite, you fear you're worthless, and if you open subtle vision, you'll confirm your worst fears. Such hidden anxieties can prevent your abilities from manifesting. Another block could be a subconscious reluctance to leave your comfort zone. Seeing the subtle plane means shedding illusions and facing reality as it is. Part of you might be afraid of the unknown that comes with this clarity. If you can't identify your specific block easily, try the free writing technique. Take a notebook or open a document and start writing everything that comes to mind about why you might be stuck. Don't censor yourself, just let the thoughts flow. Later, read what you wrote and look for clues. This technique can reveal subconscious dialogues, influences, and hidden fears. It can help you pinpoint exactly what's holding you back. Remember, everyone is unique, so you must discover your personal obstacles. We've covered attachments and mental blocks. The third factor, which can also influence subtle vision, is your diet and environment. Although I know people who see the subtle plane despite poor diets and other issues, improving your diet can greatly enhance and stabilize your abilities. Reducing toxins, chemicals, and processed foods lightens your body's burden. Your physical body won't have to struggle as hard to detoxify, freeing energy to reconnect with your soul. It's not just about meat eating versus vegetarianism. Minimizing harmful additives, chemical-laden cosmetics, and polluted air can help tremendously. When your body isn't overloaded with toxins, it can more easily restore your energetic connections. Alcohol and smoking also matter. Smoking suppresses willpower and can hinder subtle perception. Alcohol tears apart the connection between soul, consciousness, and body, making it harder for you to maintain stable inner alignment. Again, no one is forcing you to change. These are just factors that influence your energy system. The more balanced and healthy your lifestyle, the easier it is to restore your inner connections and see subtle realities. Of course, you don't have to become a perfect saint. Just do what you can to reduce unnecessary burdens on your body and energy field. Let's imagine an ideal situation. You've disconnected attachments, resolved your mental blocks, improved your diet, avoided toxins, and stabilized your environment. Yet, you still struggle to see the subtle plane clearly. Another reason might be related to your soul's specific mission. Right now, on the subtle plane, there's a lot of warfare going on. If your soul did not come here to fight, if your role is to create and build rather than battle, then maybe you don't need full subtle access right now. Your soul might be protecting you from getting entangled in conflicts that don't serve your purpose. In such a case, you might only partially see the subtle plane enough to handle basic tasks like removing attachments or helping close ones, but not enough to dive into the larger cosmic battles. Not everyone is meant to wield a metaphoric sword. Some are here to rebuild and create after the conflict is over. If you belong to the category whose mission is more about future creation rather than current battles, you might find that you can see certain things for personal or local use but can't venture further. This isn't weakness. It simply means your soul's path is different. You might be able to sense when someone tries to impose contracts in your dreams, allowing you to refuse them. You can maintain your reality, set personal boundaries, and gradually shape your environment. Even without full subtle sight, you can still function effectively and influence your surroundings. I intended to explain how to formulate questions for the subtle plane and how to see properly. But I've already talked for a long time. We've covered the main reasons why some can't see or struggle to see the subtle plane. I'll record a separate video dedicated to how to ask the right questions, how to focus your intention, and where to begin when you do start seeing. This video was more about identifying obstacles and understanding the conditions for subtle perception. Before I wrap up, I want to share something else. You've probably noticed the beautiful painting behind me with the lovely horse and the remarkable sky. The artist who painted it is a dear friend of mine. She doesn't know I plan to show her painting in this video, so I hope it's a pleasant surprise for her. I asked her a long time ago to paint the true sky that we remember from childhood, a memory of how the sky looked before all these artificial manipulations. I waited maybe a year and a half for her to find the inspiration to paint it, and finally she did. It turned out brilliantly, absolutely gorgeous. I had to share it with you. I hope you love it as I do. I'm thrilled with it. That's all for today's topic. I've explained the main points about why you might not be seeing the subtle plane. Attachments, mental blocks, diet, environment, and possibly your soul's mission and purpose at this stage. Remember also the importance of personal boundaries and that no piece of information is useless. Everything ties together to form a complete picture. If you address these aspects, it can significantly help you progress. So on this note, I'll say goodbye for now. See you next time. Keep working on yourself, and I'll provide more technical details in the next video on how to ask questions and navigate the subtle plane effectively. Until until then, take care everyone. That's all for today. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share my channel. Become a member of my Telegram channel and discuss with like-minded people as a supporting club member.